Hello, hello. I'm here a little bit early just for some pre-show ramble with you right now on YouTube. If you're a replay viewer, skip ahead. Feel free to skip ahead of the countdown and get to the action. If you're in live, which I see a few of you early birds are, announce yourself in the chat, please. I would love to know who you are and where you're watching from. So put who you are and where you're watching from. Thank you very much. We can have some pre-show amble, if you like. We're also out on Twitch. And if I push this button, we'll go on Periscope too. So let's do that. We are on Periscope in addition to YouTube. This is for the early birds before the 1 minute countdown. So do post in the comments where you are. Got Mergin, Mergin, is that how you say it? I hope so, in the Netherlands. Hey to you, you're early, you are early. Best thing you can do if you're in early is grab yourself a warm or cold beverage, whatever you prefer, and share this with someone you think would enjoy the content that's about to come up. We're going back to the 1960s, groovy baby. So yeah, do share this if you possibly can, if you've got a moment to do that. It'd be wonderful if you could. I'd very much appreciate it. And post there in the comments so that when we go live on the hour, I can announce that Tony C. Davis is in on Periscope. Nice to see you Periscopers joining in. It's very dramatic. It's about to get a whole lot more dramatic in 1.5 minutes, Isabella, when we get into the real countdown jingle that builds up. In fact, tomorrow I'm talking all about building countdown jingles, intros, outros for YouTube videos. So you'll learn how this countdown was made tomorrow. Make it a date this time tomorrow on the live stream. Got Wolfric Productions in there. No worries on missing it yesterday. Glad to have you here today. Kevin is in the Philippines. Laurie in New Zealand. Yay. G'day. Let me know where you're watching from. Just going to have a bit of a chat for another minute before we get into the countdown music and then go live. Jason Osvo1 is in there. Thank you, Tony, for tweeting it out on Periscope. Appreciate that. Ahmed's in Poland. Marjin is sneaking in from work until someone notices. Is that work in some kind of audio place in a radio station, maybe? Got me on some nice studio monitors. Peter Young's there, like the countdowns, almost as much as the BBC News. Wow! Anthony Hall's there as well. Good afternoon from GCFX Radio, Jacksonville, Florida, USA. Happy 4th, by the way, for yesterday. Forgot to mention it on the stream yesterday. Finland's in the house. Yes. Laurie's there. Trung's there from Vietnam. Okay, here we go. Get ready. Dramatic smash and countdown starting now. And that is how it's done. Hello, groovy baby. I'm Mike Russell, going way back to the 1960s. And it's so beautiful to have you here. Hang on, there. I'm a little more groovy now. Ooh, feeling fantastic and groovy and funky and ready to play with some audio from the 1960s. I've got all kinds of stuff like drum loops, like bass lines. We're going to do some Sonovox, some vinyl effects. We're going to do some shouts. We're going to do that kind of stuff within the next hour. It's important, of course, I do the shout-outs to everybody who's watching now, commenting over on youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Hello to you on Facebook Live. It's Frankie Cruz, first day watching on Periscope. It's your first day on Periscope. Amazing. Also, we've got Jason in Mexico. Let's do some shout-outs. Just before I do some shout-outs, if you just tuned in now, let me know where in the world you're watching from in the comments. But I did want to let you know that just ahead of Monday is the time. Oh, I've just disappeared, but that's okay. I wanted to show you this. My Adobe Audition presets are on sale. The price is increasing on Monday, July 10, and bonuses included in the package will not be available. For what are these presets? This is the very template I use to design audio daily in Adobe Audition for Music Radio Creative. So if you want to grab them, go to mrc.fm/presets to get one Adobe Audition CC session file. That's a .sesx file. 12 video tutorials showing you exactly how to use them and how I use them. Plus bonuses available till this Monday only. 7 sample voiceovers, 5 sample sound effects, 1 extra music bed, and a bonus video tutorial, which, if I do say so myself, I think it's rather a decent video to have, because it helps you if you have problems leveling out your audio levels when you're doing audio production. mrc.fm/presets, a really good price and bonuses available only until this Monday, July 10, 2017. mrc.fm/presets. Right, so let's do some shout-outs before we get into the music and the audio. We've got Fritz watching from Orlando, Florida. Luis Riviera is in. Got the presets. They're working great. Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate that. Laurie's there, looking fantastic. Isabella is ticking off the corners of the world watching. We've got Europe tuning in, Australia, South America, North America, Asia, and I'm sure Africa. We usually have our friends in Africa tuning in from Ghana, Uganda, all over Nigeria. Love to have you guys in watching this stream. Ravi goes in from Italy. Looking forward to the tutorial. Joe Lamp from Atlanta. We got Merjin, who's an IT guy in cloud computing, sneaking out of work to watch this in the Netherlands. Laurie says his stream's buffering. It's not buffering this end, I can tell you that. Don is counting down to the 1960s. Groovy baby. What else have we got? We got Walter, good morning. David, good evening in Adelaide, Australia. It's 10:30 p.m. there. Hi from Germany. Leonardo's in Brazil. Loads, Finland, yeah, just all corners of the world. Very, very privileged to have you here in the house watching. Also the Facebook Live folks like Connor Fleming from New Zealand. My day is going fantastic. Right, let us dive in and do a little bit of... I love this background so much. I don't want to lose it. Don't worry. We'll lose the background, but we won't lose your comments. Just going to drag this over here for a second and pop this up, because this is a preset I'm going to show you in a second. It's a VST or AU plugin that will make your 1960s audio sound fantastic. Remember to keep commenting during the show, because they get featured here, like Javier from Bolivia just did on Facebook Live. Thank you very much, Javier. So, first of all, let's drag in some 60s style effects. I did do this earlier, prepared myself for all of this. So let's drag in this audio and see what we got to complement the audio that I'm going to be making today. We have got, what have we got? This. Yes, fantastic. Let's put it on a music track. Nice bit of 60s bass. And then I'm going to bring into the loop some 60s style drums. Hey, it's a wipeout. I should do that effect, actually, shouldn't I? Let's do that, shall we? Solo, record. Hello, everybody. It's a wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on mrc.fm. And then we'll go over here and do that, and we'll have a listen to this on solo. Hello, everybody. It's a wipeout. And then we'll just go in, and we need this filter. It's analog delay in the delay and echo, and it's got to be the plastic 1968's preset. Now, it does echo a little bit distantly, so let's try this. Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. I'm going to make that a little tighter, so let's do so. Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM. Okay, so there's my 1960s style Vox. We got the bass line, we got the drums. We're going to mash them all together and make something rather fun. Plus, stick around for the vocal synth thing, the Sonovox style effect, because it's not actually a Sonovox machine. I will stress that it's not a Sonovox machine that I'm going to use. It's a digital equivalent coming up, and those vinyl things, and also double and triple Voxes, all of that stuff. 1960s, a very groovy time to be around. The time when reverb was not stereo, it was only mono. And I just wanted to say, even though you might not tell by the beard, well, no, there'd be a fair few more grey hairs in here if I was around during the 1960s. So I don't claim to be from the 60s, but I claim to show you some audio production style effects that I can replicate digitally today in Adobe Audition. And you can do this in another DAW if that's your DAW of preference. If you're a Pro Tools person or if you're a Logic person, you can do all this stuff in any audio editing software. So we'll get into this. We'll get into that download in a second. And of course, at every 15-minute juncture in the show, at 1:15, 1:30, and 1:45, I do mention comments specifically. So don't think I'm ignoring you. Every 15 minutes during the show, I shout out any questions. So if you've got any questions as I go along, fire them in. And if anybody decides to do a super chat, by the way, today at youtube.com/musicradiocreative, I will mention your chat immediately and pay extra special attention to you. So that's super chatting, available if you click the $sign on the chat box at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Right, so we got this. Hello. Oh, hang on, let's switch that off solo. What are we doing here? Right, okay. Hello, everybody. We want to get all of this off. We don't want any of that on solo. We just want this. Okay, you hear that? And then let's solo the drums. Now, if I wanted to make this really extend, because my voice has gone on, well, for 10 seconds, and that goes on for 3, really easy thing you can do in the multi-track of Adobe Audition is right-click and then go to Loop, and look at this. Look at this. You get this little arrow appearing. Can I zoom that? Hang on, actually, I was playing with my effects on OBS Studio, and I think I can do something really groovy. Let me try and do this so I can transition like pow. Oh, fantastic. And now you can see really clearly that what I'm trying to point out. This little loop thing appears right there, which is really good. I really need to work out how to make these presets really smooth and easy to work. But you can see I can zoom in. Now I would very much like to zoom back out, so I can actually show you how the looping function works. Yes, I'm gonna have to put these on a hotkey on OBS so I can do it really easily, but then boom, okay, we're back into full multi-track view. So once you put the loop mode on by right-clicking, clicking loop, you can then drag out, see how this little extender thing, if I didn't have loop mode on, I wouldn't be able to do this. Now I get a looping icon next to my extender, and I can make this drum beat go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, like that, which is amazing. Obviously, that's now 4 minutes of drum beat. Cool, isn't it? I don't know about you, but I really like this. This could just keep going on, but my intention is just to make it long enough for this short promo that I'm creating. So that's a great thing. If you drum beats, loops of music, you can get from anywhere. There's places online. We sell loops. You can make them in Logic Pro X if you like. All that kind of stuff. But for now, I'm just going to show you how one of our stock loops works. And then I'm going to do the same with the bass. I'm going to loop that, and then I can drag that out, and that should work perfectly. Only thing is, and let's just switch all these solos off. Let's mute this channel for a moment. This bass line won't mix up with the drum loop yet. As you can clearly hear. So what I'm going to need to do is a little bit of time stretching to make this flow perfectly. And I think that... No, that's not going to work. Let's undo the loop on that, and then I can really play about with the time stretch. So I want one loop to fit perfectly into 2 bars. Let's try something like that. Let's see if this works. There you go. And then we can extend this a little bit. You got the idea? You see how you can easily loop things? And it doesn't need to be a stock loop that you're using here. It can be a loop of anything. If you, let me show you, actually. I was going to say, if you've got popular music song, make sure you have the right licensing. So usually this is for the radio folks. That's a stinger. We don't want a stinger. Something like this. Let's see. So this is like a little stock music, surfing, Beach Boysy type song. Okay, you get the idea. So let's go back. Should show you what I'm doing, just counting the beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Okay, cool. And so say I want to loop that first part of the tune round. I just need to make sure I'm ending just before beat 1, which I think is there. Let's just check that. Yeah, that's beat 1, I think. So let's go in here and we'll do that. And once we've done that, I should be able to enable loop mode and do something like this. Oh, hang on. No, it's not going to let me do that because the song has more elements to it. So what I do then, if I'm happy with that as a loop, I can test it before I render this out. I would just kind of highlight the whole thing, loop it round and play. Just make sure I've got my handles selected nicely on this. So we got, and then we're ending somewhere over here. Let's get as accurate as we can. Whoops, there we go. As accurate as we can, just to make sure that this loop is right before I do what I'm going to do. That's it. So say if you wanted to loop part of a musical track, yeah, if you're using like pop music and you want to get just like the perfect little bit of it, you can do that. Just select the bit you want. That could be 4 bars, that could be 8 bars, that could be 16 bars, whatever you feel appropriate. And then we want to, I'll tell you a really easy way. Well, you can do it by right-clicking and then just click Convert to Unique Copy. I could do that right now. Another way to do it, I'll show you just quickly. So that is now a unique copy and... but it hasn't done what I thought it would do. That is a unique copy of the waveform now that I can edit without interfering with the original. But if I want to render out a secondary track, I'm going to have to do something like this. So make my selections here and then here. So select exactly what I need and then multi-track, mix down, times selection, or bounce to new track, times selection. There we go. Right, we've got a new bounce there. And therefore now, if I switch on looping mode, this should, yep, so now I've got my loop on just that part of the song. Have a listen. Hello, it's a Wipeout. Okay, so let's go back to our original now that we've had a little play with that. Hello, everybody, it's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM. There we go. And we're going to cut there, and then I'm going to do something funky to end this promo off. Time to get into some of the comments, by the way. Just post your comments at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. You can super chat there as well. You can do it over on Facebook Live, on Periscope if you like, or even on Twitch if you happen to be watching there. As I can see, we have got Diego watching from Belgium. We've got Leva in from Madagascar. Lou is wondering if I just said groovy. Yes, Absolutely, I did. We got Cato Bell, who says, I need a Ludwig Supraphonic, a very authentic 60s snare sound. Very good. Forever has written something in Arabic, so thank you for that. Christopher's watching and saying, good morning from NYC and 30 Rock. It's great to have you in the house, Christopher. Thanks for tuning in today, and do spread the word wherever you're watching. Over on Facebook, just click the share button. That would be fantastic. And remember, if you'd like to use exactly this template that I'm using, do head over to mrc.fm/presets, and you'll head over to this page where you can get the Adobe Audition presets I use to produce audio, music, radio, creative. The whole session file. It works with Adobe Audition CC and possibly other versions of Adobe Audition, although they're not supported. You get 12 video tutorials showing you how my presets work and how I use them. Plus, if you order before this coming Monday, the 10th of July 2017, you get 7 sample voiceovers to use and play about with, 5 sample sound effects, a sample music bed as well, and an extra bonus video tutorial to add a little polish to your audio production. We got a viewer from Ukraine. Nice to have you there. And simply smashing, says Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. Oh, wow, cool. Isabella's on the ball today in the chat on YouTube. She's just translated the Arabic, and it says, enjoyed with you from Saudi Arabia. You are a hero. Wow. And a smiling emoticon. That's just amazing. I'm absolutely honored. And thank you for that wonderful comment. So brilliant. Right, before we head back in, I'm going to play about with an external plugin, because I know a lot of you watching the live stream and also listening back on demand to the podcast have said to me, Mike, it'd be nice. Yeah, I like that you play with Adobe Audition and occasionally you go over to other DAWs, digital audio workstations. But it'd be nice if you could get some VST plugins or some VST3 or some AU. Tree Comedy, I have just noticed you. There you go. More comments coming up in just over 10 minutes, by the way. I do them every 10 or 15 minutes. So, yeah, I was going to show you one of my favorite plugin manufacturers. I love them. I had the opportunity to meet up with some of the team last year when I spoke on stage for Adobe at IBC 2016. They are iZotope, a really good bunch from I think somewhere in Massachusetts in the USA. And they make fantastic plugins. In fact, I have a lot of them in my collection. I like to use them. This is one, by the way, on the screen over there that I think is going to be suitable for the 1960s. But yeah, I mean, Adobe Audition have actually integrated some of iZotope stuff natively into the software. That's just kind of how good they are in the audio world. Those folks, those technicians there have great ears. And yeah, really, I love playing about with iZotope stuff. Also, I think their marketing department is brilliant because, well, for instance, this one is going to be amazing for you because I know you're not shy of paying for something that's fantastic, but this one is free for you to play with. All they want is your email. Give us your email. Give us your email and we'll give you this. So I do strongly suggest that you head over and check it out. Look up iZotope Vinyl. In fact, it'd probably be a good idea for me to create a short link to that. So I'll do it now and then I can mention it for you on the live stream and also on the replay at the podcast in case you want to know where to get this. So I'm just creating the short link now and it's mrc.fm/vinyl. Okay, that short link is now live. mrc.fm/vinyl will take you directly to this free plugin. As you can see over here, get it free. So you just click get it free. You either log in if you haven't got an iZotope account or create one. And then after you give your email and a few details, you'll be able to download it just as I did. It's in my downloads folder over here. And you get this. It's available for both Windows and Mac, by the way, and I'm going to do a real risky thing. I'm going to attempt to install a plugin live on the stream, and hopefully it doesn't all go horribly wrong. I'm trying to show you just how easy it is, so hopefully it will work easily. Let's make sure I save everything in case I need to reload Adobe Audition, and then we'll go. So yeah, let's keep this up in the background as I do it so you can see all the details on the screen. And I'm going to open up that DMG file. I think it's an exe file on Windows. And Obscure Developer, hey, thank you very much for a wonderful super chat that's about to appear here. There it is. Thank you for the super chat, Obscure Developer. And that's a thank you for the stream yesterday, which I really enjoyed doing, by the way, about horror voiceover effects. Thank you, Obscure Developer from Ireland. I really appreciate your super chat today on YouTube. And of course, yeah, you can catch all the replays over at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Right, let's click this. And when you run the DMG file to install a plugin, you'll get a nice slick looking interface here. And then you just double click to install. It comes up. Yeah, do you want to do this? Yes, I do. Then I stick in my password to my Mac. And then it should do a few things. And yeah, hopefully, yeah, it's going to do something. Okay, vinyl setup wizard. Okay, I have to agree to the license, which obviously I read earlier. And then you select the components you want to install, like usage analysis. That's fine if you want that. You can send information off to iZotope or not. And then you choose which version of the plugin you want. So depending what OS you're on, if you're on Windows, usually it'll be a VST2 or 3. I don't want those. I'm going to have an audio unit. That's all I need. Audio units are plugins for 32-bit and 64-bit hosts, and audio units are specifically for Apple Mac. So yeah, if I'm producing with a plugin on Mac, it's always audio unit I tend to go for. Okay, it's now ready to begin installing. Whoosh. Would I like to check for updates? No, not right now. Complete. Woo, that was quick. Okay. Should we go and see if it's worked? Let's go over... let's grab my voice over here, put it into a new file here, and then we'll go into effects. I don't think it's going to be there yet. iZotope, no, it's not appearing, you see. I've got other iZotope plugins, but not the one I just installed. So I need to go into Audio Plugin Manager in the effects menu, and I need to scan for plugins like that. And then hopefully it'll pick it up. Did it pick it up? Let's have a look. iZotope vinyl. There it is. It's been installed. So let's click OK and go to iZotope. Is it there? There it is. Whew. I can wipe the sweat off my brow. A live installation of a plugin actually worked. You can go to demo, you can go to authorize, and then stick in your serial number. I'm just going to whack this up to my second screen and do that up there, because even though it's free, I don't want you all using my serial number. Well, I know you wouldn't use it, but, you know, some of the hundreds of other people that watch this video, some of them might want to. So I'm just authorizing now. Yeah, it's, do I want to submit authorization? Yes, I'm saying. Okay, authorization successful. Brilliant. Now I have the full unlocked, even though it's free anyway, but full unlocked iZotope vinyl effect. Let's have a play with this. Hello, everybody. Okay, it's not doing anything at the moment, but now let's have a play and see how this can make things sound. Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And oh, look, and you can even wind the year back. Look, at the moment we're in 2000, but if I wind back to 1960... whoosh. Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And actually, that's cool because what that is doing is it's adding a certain EQ to my voice based on the year. So I like that. 2000. Hello, everybody. That's normal. Back to 1980. Hello, everybody. Not much difference. Back to the 70s. Hello. Back to the 60s, and you notice a change. Hello. Back to the 50s. Hello. Back to the 30s. Hello, everybody. It's so kind of degrading the EQ as we go back in time. You can also mess with the RPM. Might get to that later. Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here. So hear how the wear is wearing down my voice, electrical noise. Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend... whoa, that's lovely hum. Often we spend hours trying to eliminate sounds like that. Hello, everybody. But now there is actually a plugin that introduces a sound like that. Amazing. Let's try dust. Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM. To be honest, I can't hear too much dust. Oh, maybe I need to turn the amount up. Hang on.
Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM.
I love the way that's adding a bit of crackle. You know how when you get dust on a piece of old vinyl, yes, I am old enough to remember vinyl, then it kind of click, 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 clicks. So we got that. We got scratch as well. Let's play that.
Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here. Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout.
And this weekend,
MRC.FM.
Oh, nice. So as you can see, you can have a heck of a lot of fun with iZotope vinyl. You can turn up the input and output gain, so I can turn the input up a bit.
Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM.
Let's make it mono.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Yeah, that's bypassing the EQ on.
Hello.
Let's turn it up to 78 RPM.
Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout.
So I think that just speeds up the vinyl sounds.
Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM.
Nice. Okay, let's apply that. And let's, hang on, let's just normalize that because we got a little bit of distortion there. So normalize. Getting back to your comments in 4 minutes, so do post them over on YouTube and Facebook. If you've got any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer them. But yeah, I do suggest you check out mrc.fm/vinyl, VINYL, to get access to this free plugin from iZotope. Right, let's drag this in now and going to move that out of the way. That's my original, and this is my now newly processed version. No, hang on, that's not it. This is it. Let's see how that sounds now with a bit of iZotope vinyl magic.
Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM.
And we can loop round a bit of that vinyl in the background, like this. And finally, I'm going to go over and say something like, I can do it on this track, actually. Let's solo it and record like this. It's groovy. Okay, cool. Actually, this would be a good point to show you my next effect. Let's go into this.
It's groovy.
Okay, and I could do a couple of things with this, but first and foremost, I'm going to show you double and triple voxes, and I'll show you a bit of Sonovoxy style stuff as well. So plenty of stuff to come up. But first of all,
it's groovy.
Right, let's turn that off solo, and I'm just going to record a few more. Now, actually, I don't want chorus in here, so I'm going to make this an EQ track. Here we go, parametric. No, not parametric. We want scientific filter. That's exactly what we want. Pop that in below 350 for this, and then we'll just rename that to be voice EQ2 so I don't get confused in this particular preset track. And then I'll try and talk along with myself.
It's groovy.
Okay, and what I'm trying to do is layer up my voice so I get a nice 1960s style effect. Doesn't matter if I'm not totally spot on, but I am fairly spot on. So let's switch that off now, and let's record into this track over here. Let's try again.
.fm. It's groovy.
Oh, hang on, I had a little bit too much going on there in the background. Let's just solo that out and try again.
It's groovy.
Okay, cool. So what I'm trying to do here is make a layered kind of shouty style effect here, and we'll go for one more over here. Recording again.
It's groovy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And obviously I've got some echo going on that track, which I don't really want. So again, I'm just going to put the scientific filter on all of these tracks. Roll off at 350 here. And the same on this one. Change that into a scientific filter. rolling off. I like how they call it scientific filter. It sounds awfully kind of like technical and scientific, doesn't it? Oh, yes. Experimentation here. Right.
It's groovy. It's groovy.
And as you can hear, I'm not totally in sync with myself, so I'm going to sync myself up by using a little bit of time stretching and cutting and splicing here, just so that I'm matching everything to be exactly where it should be. How am I going to attack this one? Let's have a look. Let's do something like this and something like that. And then something like that, and that there, and then this here. And finally this here. As you can see, my waveforms haven't matched up with each other, so I'm just trying to fix that now in post.
It's groovy.
And I think you'll notice now that it's sounding a lot better. If you're listening in stereo, by the way, at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Now I'm just panning those tracks to give a kind of stereo effect.
It's groovy.
Okay, for those of you listening in stereo, which should be the YouTubers,
it's groovy.
You should notice how there's like 4 of me saying it's groovy. Okay. Halfway through the stream, and as always at this time, I would like to mention some of your comments, so do get them in at youtube.com/musicradiocreative or over on Facebook. Remember, you can get the very presets that I use to produce on a daily basis at mrc.fm/presets. They are available at that link with bonuses until Monday, the 10th of July 2017, after which the bonuses will disappear and the price will go up. mrc.fm/presets to grab them before Monday rolls around, if you're listening before Monday the 10th of July 2017. David Silksin saying double tracking Beatles style. Exactly right, David, exactly right. And we got Anthony who says, Mike, when you get a spike in your vocal recording, if you don't adjust it, the file will normalize based on that peak. What's the best way to reduce the sound level of the spike? Oh, do you know, I think it was Louis Riviera that had a very similar question on a stream late last week, and I did demo a little bit how to do that, but essentially you can go in, not many spikes in that track, but I know exactly what you mean when you get a little spike like say that. You can go in and just repair it by just selecting that part of the track and then just fading it down like that. Literally just fade it. Because it's so small and so insignificant, you're going to suddenly notice that you get a nice reduction. You can, of course, use dynamics as well, but I find this to work fairly well without affecting the sound. You shouldn't notice any difference in my voice if I do this. Hello, no difference there, no noticeable edit, but I've now sort of reduced that spike, if you like. Going to shout out the Facebookers as well, so do post your comments if you're watching over on Facebook Live, if you've got something to ask. Obscure Developer says, sounds so much better in stereo. Yes, sorry, Facebook only stream in 128 kilobits per second mono, so
it's groovy.
That doesn't sound quite as good as it would do in stereo. You're right, Obscure Developer, who has a nice vinyl collection from the 50s to the 80s and a reel-to-reel. Wow, that's so cool. I remember using reel-to-reel. Glad I had the opportunity before these lovely digital inventions came along. We got a question here from Mark Denholm, who says, I know you and Isabella have discussed it before in a podcast, but what made you decide Mac? PC is always better value for money, hardware-wise, and Audition is Audition regardless of PC or Mac. That's a good question, and yeah, no, that's really, really interesting. And I'd say hardware-wise, that's debatable. I know in Apple's recent keynote at WWDC, they argued that their new top-of-the-line iMac is going to be like the best value hardware you can get, dollar for dollar, pound for pound, compared to anything else you could use to build something equivalent. So I don't know. I think for a power user, the Macintosh, the Apple Mac is great because they have solid software. In fact, just today I was playing around. I know this is a video thing, but I was playing around with OBS that I used to stream live, and I found out today I wasn't brave enough to try it on the stream in case something went wrong today, but they actually have a hardware encoder which uses less CPU power instead of the software encoder I'm currently using, which is chugging up actually it's not too bad, about 10% of my CPU. But I know when I experimented with it offline earlier today, using the hardware encoder, I was using about 5 or 7%, so significant reduction. Speed and everything just works nicely. You always have with PC, don't talk to me about Windows, just don't even start with Windows, because I've seen the light of Mac OS. I wouldn't go back to using Windows as an operating system. But everything just works together. I think that's a good thing. It's great for creatives. And I really, really like it. I mean, if you want to do heavy horsepower style stuff, I do have a Linux server that I run, not in this room, but Linux, I'm a big fan of Linux. I just wouldn't use Windows. I use Linux actually to do this stream. So just to get a bit technical on you and slightly into the video world, if you're considering live streaming yourself, maybe this will be helpful to you. But with OBS, I think you can only stream to one source at a time. So I could only stream to YouTube or to Facebook or whichever platform I chose. I have used Wirecast in the past, and that's got multiple stream support, which is great. But for me, the fact that I can have a Linux server and I've installed, on that server, something that uses RTMP, which is real-time messaging protocol, what we use to stream this stream, and Nginx, which is a sort of popular web server. And so I send my stream to that Linux server that then sends it out to 4 different places where you can watch this Periscope, Twitch, Facebook Live and YouTube, and that does all the heavy encoding 4 times for me, because if I was encoding 4 streams on this Mac, all you'd hear is fan noise. So that's why I do it elsewhere. So Linux and Mac, I'm in heaven here. Windows, don't really need it. The only time I have to wheel my old licensed copy of Windows out is in a virtual machine when I need to use some software that simply doesn't work on anything else but Windows. So there you go. Rather long answer. But yeah, and I don't know, since I used to use Adobe Audition on Windows, and I think it crashes less on the Mac. I can't verify that, but it crashes less for me on a Mac. What else have we got? Isabella's chipping in saying, used to be a PC fan, always had issues, needs update. Yeah, what is it with Windows updates? What is it with Windows updates? I love the Apple once a year, here's a new OS. Smooth, man, smooth. Problems all disappeared, Isabella said after switching. We could turn it into a Windows versus Mac show, but we should get back to the 60s in a second. Anthony's agreeing with Isabella, diehard PC until wife convinced to go to MacBook Pro, never looked back, and eventually converted all to Apple. We're actually all Apple in this household, in the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The only thing we have that's not Apple is an Android tablet on the wall to control our home automation. And it's only Android because I like playing with things, so that's why. Obscure developer, I use PC, but Mac is built for software it uses, so it tends to run just a bit better than PC. I make games, software, and websites, so PC suits better. Absolutely. I understand for development purposes, it's brilliant, and stuff like Visual Studio, I believe, only used to be available for the PC. Now I think they did release a Mac version. So yeah, it's really it's really what you're used to, what you want to work with. PC user here says Walter, also IT Tech for PC use. For PCs use proper specs, and Audition on Win 10 works flawlessly. That's good to know. I've only briefly used Windows 10. Christopher, haven't crashed on me for a PC yet, so I think maybe Audition has just got more stable. Should we put it down to the lovely team at Adobe Audition rather than the platform? I think so. Okay, all right, and I've used both Mac and PC a lot more, but I use PC a lot more, but I do like Mac, so swap between them. Yes, you continue there in the comments to debate the merits of Macs and PCs, and I'll hop back into this because I did want to show you some more before the end of the stream today. So we got this 60s style slapback effect.
Hello everybody, it's a Wipeout, and this weekend you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM.
And then, of course, we got some crackle. So how did we get the slap back initially? Well, we added that in onto my my voice process track as an analog delay, and didn't do anything funky here. I just went for the preset called Plastic 1968. That kind of called to me, and I do tend to know the presets like the back of my hand in Audition, so I knew there was a 60s preset in analog delay. It uses not the tape or the tape tube mode, it uses the analog mode, so trying to replicate an old analog sound, which is nice. Then we hopped over into the waveform and we had to play with this new plugin that I installed as an audio unit, iZotope Vinyl. It's really, really cool. And yeah, it can do some really good stuff. Actually, I did want to use it on a new track. So let's just try this. How much silence have we got there? Not much at the moment. So we're going to insert some silence here and use the iZotope Vinyl plugin again. Effects. AU iZotope Vinyl, which, by the way, this is a free plugin. Get it at mrc.fm/vinyl, VINYL, and let's have a listen to all those sound effects again. So this has got, like, for those of you listening on the podcast right now, mechanical noise sounds like this. Then we've got where that sounds like, well, that would be on the voice only. Electrical noise. I actually wanted to have some of that electrical noise. Some dust. Some scratches. Do you remember when records used to get horribly scratched like that? Just ruin the listening pleasure, wouldn't it? And warp. I also wanted to have a play with warp, actually. Hang on, let me just do this. Yeah. So warp works kind of like this. Let's go into the effects again. iZotope Vinyl, and actually, let me just see if I can do really nice close-up on this so you can see exactly what is going on. So I'm going to try and just transition into... there we go. Now you can really see, if you're watching the live stream or the replay, what is going on with the iZotope Vinyl effect. So if I switch on warp depth like this and spin down...
Yeah.
And I think I better turn these down.
Yeah.
Let's put some dust on it as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So apply that.
Yeah.
So I was going to use that somehow, but also I wanted to use the, let's go back into the effects so you can see it, because I know it's zoomed in at the moment, so there it is. And then I was just going to roll all this on, and I was going to use the electrical noise here. Oh, that's super cool. I didn't realize spin down actually worked with the electrical noise. So that's because I've got that button clicked. If I unclick it, I get this. Exactly the kind of sound that we usually try our very best to eliminate, but in this case I'm actually trying to produce it, and all of these funky groovy sounds can be produced inside iZotope Vinyl. I'm just going to zoom back out now so you can see everything that's going on my screen. Like I say, I'm just doing it manually at the moment. I definitely need to get to grips with hotkeying this up and pop myself back on the screen like so. Hello. Okay, so we got this and this, and I'm going to pop that into the multi-track as well over here.
Hello, everybody.
Let's try this at the end.
Yeah.
And we'll do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's move that in a little bit. And then I'm going to put this hum in, and I'm actually going to loop it and then make it very distant. And the way I can do this is I can actually use, for the first time in a while, I'll use the Essential Sound panel. So Essential Sound is fantastic. It's like an audio producer in your back pocket. You can use the presets here, not only on sound effects, but you can also use it on dialogue, on music, on ambience. I'll show you how this works in detail. I'm going to do a tutorial on Premiere Pro. It's on Tuesday's stream next week, so 2 p.m. UK time, whatever time that is for you. Premiere Pro, I'll show you how to clean up your audio using Essential Sound, but right now, just going to use it for SFX, and I'm going to go for a preset. Let's try some different sounds. That kind of gives an echoey sound. to it. Let's go from the outside. So you can hear how it affects things from the left. Hard pan to the left or hard pan to the right. And we've got in a large room, make close up, make distant, and medium shot. I think from the outside was quite good.
Everybody, it's a wipeout.
Well, let's try that with explosion.
Everybody, it's a wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM. It's groovy.
That might be a little bit too much, so I'm going to fade that out and turn that down.
Everybody.
Okay, so we got something like this.
Hello, everybody. It's a wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM. It's groovy.
Okay, going to mention those comments again in a few minutes, so do keep them coming in at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Also see a few of you tuned in at Facebook right now, including Kyron. Hey, Kyron, nice to have you there. Do leave a comment on Facebook Live if you would like to, say anything at all, or if you'd like to make a comment or ask a question. Feel free to do that. But now I'm going to get onto this new track here, and I'm going to record just something like this with your host, Mike Russell, and then I'll show you a little bit of the old Sonovox sound. This is not exact Sonovox because you need a real Sonovox kind of piece of hardware for that, but I can show you. Hang on, stick on some MRC Magic, which if you want the MRC Magic presets, mrc.fm/presets is the place to go. mrc.fm/presets, as you can see up there's the page. It's got bonuses available until Monday the 10th of July 2017 only. Not only will you get the Adobe Audition session file that I use in Audition CC, 12 video tutorials showing you how all the presets work, 7 sample voiceovers, 5 sample sound effects, 1 sample music bed, and a bonus video tutorial that won't be included after Monday. After Monday, bonuses disappear and the price on that will go up. So we got with your host, Mike Russell, with the MRC Magic. I did that in a robotic way for a reason that will become apparent, because another one of my favorite iZotope plugins is Vocal Synth. This isn't free, but it's good. And then we're going to go for vocoder. And you've got different styles, smooth, hard. I'm going to go for vintage, classic Barnes to start with, and we'll try and replicate Sonovox as best we can. Oh, obscure developer, bonuses available to your birthday. Oh, you should treat yourself. That's lovely. Also asking how you search for plugins in Audition. Just go up into the effects menu, audio plugin manager, scan for plugins. There it is. That's how you do it. Nice and simple. Don LeBlanc's loving the 60s cycle hum. Yes, absolutely. It's lovely to... Usually you don't add that into a production, but in this case, I'm doing it, and there you go. That's just the way it is. Keto Bell says rocker switches. Ravigo55 is preferring the PC. You can get your hands inside to install new cards. Yeah, I know. That's one of the cool things. Like that's why I love my Linux box, because I can just open it up. It's got Debian 9 on there, and it's just absolutely the business. And yes, I can pull out and put in things, and pretty much everything works with Linux. So... come on, Adobe Audition. Come on, Adobe. Make a version for Linux. I know you'll say the user base is not big enough yet, but I'm sure it will be soon. Mark says lots of debate now on PC versus Mac. I've always used PC except when forced to use Mac for a project, and as quick as possible I switch back to PC. So as you can see, it's divided right the way down the middle. But I tell you what, once Adobe, or if Adobe support Linux, I would actually consider changing my whole setup to Linux. Just putting that out there. But yeah, I mean, for the moment, I can't foresee myself leaving Apple for the near future, because they're too good.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Let's try and make that sound more Sonovoxy.
With your host, Mike Russell. With your host, Mike Russell.
Now we're starting to get a Sonovox sound, aren't we?
With your host, Mike Russell. With your host, Mike Russell.
I think we'll have that. That'll sound nice. Let's turn it up. And obviously they put the 60s reverb on.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Oh, wow. Kado saying, Mark, try Hackintosh on Windows. That's a good suggestion. Walter saying Linux version of Audition would be sweet. Come on, let's start a movement for the Linux version of Adobe Audition. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Lewis asking, what's the difference between VST 1, 2, and 3? Lewis, I couldn't answer that entirely accurately for you because I don't exactly know. The one thing I'm pretty confident in saying, though, is that VST3 is a newer standard than VST. So I think, and I don't know, so I'm literally talking off the top of my head. I haven't got any notes here. But I think it's kind of the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit operating systems. It's more kind of under the hood architecture. If you had a choice, I would go for VST3 if your system will support it. And if the plugin you like is supporting VST3, go for that. That would be my suggestion. But yeah, I think it's purely technical in the background. It's nothing particularly different in the kind of sound necessarily. But like I say, where you can, use the very best version of a plugin for your operating system. So for Mac, I will always go for the audio units, the AU plugins, because I just believe that it's good. So there you go. So we got this.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Let me see if I can just add a mono track. Yes, I can. Okay, cool. What I'm going to do is... Hang on. I don't know if I can... Where did my mono track go? Is it down the bottom? No, maybe I didn't do it. Track, add mono track. No, add mono bus. That's what I want to do. And I want to... let's call that... mono reverb, and this will all become apparent why I'm doing this in a second. So I wanted to add some reverb, but if I do so, it's not going to sound very 60s because it's going to be stereo reverb. Have a listen.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Oh, we need to take down the take this down a bit.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Good. Oh, it's looping round. That's why it's going to the start again.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Now, as you can hear, that's stereo if you're listening or streaming in stereo right now. But if I wanted mono reverb, what I would do is I would just simply go over here to my mono reverb track. You see that's just got one bar instead of two bars in there. And then I just add the reverb on here. So let's do it. Reverb, studio reverb. And yeah, we just need to do a few alterations like I did right there before. Take that down, and dry up, and this down, and then switch that off there. And now we should have a mono reverb, hopefully. Let's listen.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Or no reverb, because I didn't route it through to the mono reverb bus. So let's do that and try again.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Okay, lovely mono reverb. Okay, I like it, and that could be the end of the promo there. So let's have a listen here to this in its entirety.
Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout, and this weekend you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM. It's groovy.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Oh, one thing I didn't do. I think it's too tight. This edit point's too tight.
.FM.
.fr. It's groovy. You didn't hear the .fm. So what I'm going to do is just pull. Oh, hang on. Can I do that? Pull that out. Or what you can do, if you've got loads of waveforms all bunched together like this, and you're worried about highlighting and maybe missing a portion, and or messing it up, and you didn't drag everything. Really cool thing you can do in Audition is once you've selected everything, right-click and just click to groups, and you want to group those clips. Now you see they all turn a nice shade of pink, and they all get highlighted together no matter which clip or where you click now. So now I can move those around wherever I want without breaking that up. So now I know I've made that shout the way I want it. Let's solo it over here.
It's groovy.
Now I can move that around kind of like one waveform. So yeah, if you're producing, this is just such a top ninja tip. It saves me time, like losing something when I've got a huge session and I'm zoomed out and I move and then I lose one little thing, and it's so difficult to find out what I did, and I have to Command Z a lot of time. The snare needs to be 60s sounding, says Cato Bell. Advice, please, advice. What would you recommend, sir? Right, let's move this in and have a listen.
FM, it's
Bit more there.
FM, it's groovy.
The yeah is not too apparent, so let's turn that up. And
FM,
and I'm just going to make sure the FM can be heard, so I'm just going to like pop this up a bit.
FM, it's
You notice how I just amplified the bit of FM so people don't think I'm saying FN.
FM, it's
Still a little bit more of a boost, I think. I'm not too worried about boosting significantly here because I know later on the compressors in my chain will just bash that down again.
FM, it's groovy.
Okay, who thinks that says .fm now? Just
FM, it's groovy.
Okay, so we're getting there now. Let me just fade that out, and actually on the end of these, notice when you group, you also group fades as well, which can be quite handy. There we go. So
It's groovy.
there we go. It's starting to sound really nice. I did have a few other bits and bobs that I wanted to show off to you here. What else have we got? This is a cool bed. Let's play a bit of this. But that's for another time, I think. That is for another time. But I do happen to have this sound over here. Oh, hang on. Let's change my tool so that works nicely. Let's have a listen now to this. Let's just see whether this is going to work in the mix to end my promo. Pull that down, I think, a bit.
And it's groovy.
I don't know. I'm not sure if that adds or takes from the promo.
MRC.FM, it's groovy.
What I might do is just move this over a little bit more.
It's groovy.
Okay, everything's getting a little bit lost now. Hang on.
It's groovy.
So something like that, maybe to end off on, that would be quite nice. So as you can see, a lot of different effects that you can play with easily, but definitely get started by grabbing yourself that iZotope vinyl plugin. The short link to go there if you're playing the replay, if you're watching now, or if you are listening to the podcast, is mrc.fm/vinyl. You can have a play with this for free yourself. Just grab it from iZotope. I also used iZotope vocal synth to make this rather groovy Sonovox style sounding effect.
With your host, Mike Russell.
So there you go. I have also played with a little bit of analog delay. I've done a lot of double and triple and quadruple tracking there on the voice. One last thing I can show you. Let me just play you this kind of almost finished product, and then I'll show you one last effect.
Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM. It's groovy.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Got some horrible hum. Too much hum is now being introduced to the mix. I'm not quite sure where that hum came from. Oh, it's probably because I added the iZotope vinyl track in as I was trying to show you it. I added it to one of the tracks, probably this one.
And you can tune.
Yeah, that was the one. Let's play without that effect that I put into the rack.
Hello, everybody. It's a Wipeout. And this weekend, you can tune into the 1960s right here on MRC.FM. It's groovy.
With your host, Mike Russell.
Few shout-outs before I do my last effect very quickly. Tyler Preston says, Apple's awesome. Just got my new iMac yesterday. We also got Obscure Developer. I'm hearing FM. That's good. Leonardo says nice. Must FM to be distinct. It must have a vowel after it, says Don. That's interesting. Mega Radio UK. You're right, Mike. Thank you. Walter, love the crunchy bit at the end. Very nice. Hawkview Productions. Hello to you. Did I do a jingle for Fearless Radio? Most likely, yes. Here at musicradiocreative.com. If you want to grab the presets I've been using today, not the 1960s presets, but the general template that I start from, head to mrc.fm/presets and go and grab them for yourself. Bonuses available until Monday, the 10th of July, 2017. After that date, the price will also go up. And now I'm just going to do one last effect before I disappear for today. 1960! 1960! 1960! 1960! 1960! 1960! Okay, and let's pop that all into the multi-track very, very quickly indeed so we can get this to work. Cut, 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 and there, 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 there. Hopefully this will work. I have been Mike Russell, and I will be back with you again, same time tomorrow, Monday to Friday from 2 p.m. UK time. I look forward to seeing you again next time.
1960!